Meghan Markle has a habit. No matter the event, no matter who she's standing next to, she consistently places herself first. Not occasionally, not accidentally, but deliberately. These are 15 me first moments, and every single one was caught on camera. The last one makes it impossible to defend even for her PR. At One Young World, an event meant to celebrate young leaders, Meghan turned the stage into a mirror. In 7 minutes, she mentioned herself 34 times. Yes, you heard that right. 34!
Proof that I was there. And proof that I belonged. Because the truth was, I wasn't sure that I belonged. I was so nervous. I doubted myself, and I wondered if I was good enough to even be there, if what I was doing in the world.
Well, Meghan, honestly, it looks like an interview where you're answering the question, "Tell me about yourself."
I was surrounded by world leaders, humanitarians, prime ministers, and activists that I had such a deep and long-standing respect and admiration for.
Then she tells the audience she kept her name card, as proof she belonged. Belonged where exactly? At an event she was already invited to?
It is my absolute honor and pleasure to declare this year's One Young World Summit officially open.
And then the clapping starts, not because anyone was moved, but because the speech finally ended. I think you can almost hear the room thinking, are we supposed to clap for this? At the Commonwealth service, Meghan literally jumped chairs to get ahead of Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and Prince Edward.
So the Queen has already begun her exit. You'll see now Harry pushes himself. Harry goes first, and then Meghan pushes herself through the chairs, and they end up in front of Sophie and Prince Edward.
Even sane, ordinary people don't do this anywhere. And this wasn't an ordinary setting. These were royals, at a formal service, surrounded by protocol. So, Meghan, what were you thinking? That the camera might miss you? That one row back was unacceptable? That being briefly out of frame was somehow a crisis? And here's the irony. Sophie would have happily let her go first. There was no competition, probably because Sophie isn't even operating in the same mindset. Now imagine how this looked to everyone else watching. Confusion and then secondhand embarrassment. That moment where people think, did she really just do that? So uncomfortable, in fact, that this moment mysteriously disappeared from the BBC's official footage. According to reports, Meghan didn't receive an invitation to Paris Fashion Week. So, did she let it go? Of course not. She allegedly invited herself. And when that didn't generate the buzz she clearly expected, something else conveniently appeared. A video filmed at the site of Princess Diana's death that clearly disrespected her. Now, pause right there and really think about that decision. This was the exact location of Princess Diana's demise. But there was Meghan with a camera at a location marked with tragedy. But this didn't feel like healing, or honoring Diana, or even supporting Harry. It felt staged. It was about headlines. Like the setting was just another backdrop, another opportunity. Because when the spotlight doesn't turn toward her on its own, she doesn't wait. She creates the moment. Here's the uncomfortable truth Meghan never seems able to sit with. Without Harry or the royal title, there is no spotlight. Because without that association, she'd be forgotten. Just another actress the public moved on from years ago. And that's why this moment on the Nigeria tour matters. Meghan positioned herself directly in front of Harry, completely blocking him. Let's take a look.
Harry, Meghan, and the audience in this spot for photos. Meghan wanted to be in the center and not have anyone take her place. Harry told her to move, but she didn't. He stayed behind her. Harry looked embarrassed.
She takes the focal point without a second thought for anyone else on stage. No hesitation, no awareness. A moment meant for both of them to be quietly overtaken. People on stage notice, visibly uncomfortable. Harry gently signals for her to move, but she refuses. She stays planted, centered, framed, forcing him to step back at his own event. So ask yourself, what kind of wife takes pleasure in upstaging her husband, in shrinking him so she can feel larger? Because this isn't a partnership, Meghan. It's opportunism. At the Hamilton charity event at London's Victoria Palace Theatre in 2018, Meghan made one thing clear. Only one person mattered in that moment. Her. She's caught on camera elbowing a man out of the way so she can move to the front.
Where's the camera? Oh, there. Touch my hair, smile. Get out of my way! You fool! Boom! Psycho bitch, smile. Hi, Meghan. Hi. Walk right in front of Harry. Touch my hair. Is my dress short enough? How do you like my Brazilian wax legs? Hey, did you know I'm not wearing any underwear either? I'll just ignore the guy to my left, the one that I elbowed.
You saw that, right? She didn't stop even for basic courtesy, as it might ruin the shot. Asking politely would mean turning, breaking the angle, showing her side perhaps. So she doesn't ask. She pushes. And let's be clear, this wasn't some random bystander. At an event like this, everyone on that line is there for a reason. Guests, officials, patrons, people who belong. But in Meghan's world, that apparently doesn't apply. She does what she always does. She centers herself. Royal order was irrelevant. Waiting for her turn was apparently unnecessary. This was Meghan showing that patience becomes optional the moment a camera appears. That familiar instinct, I need to be seen, now. And when that urge kicks in, everyone else becomes an obstacle. After one of Harry's polo wins in Florida, Meghan couldn't resist inserting herself again. As the team posed for photos, she reached for a teammate's trophy box, like it was hers to hold. The player had to politely pull it back. And what does Meghan do? She reached for it again. Yes, classic Meghan behavior.
You're so fucking pushy. Why are you here?
Let me have the trophy.
It was painfully obvious. This wasn't support. This wasn't celebration. This was another grab for attention. Another moment where she needed to be seen, even if it meant hijacking someone else's win. Seriously, Meghan? You're ready to stand under the trophy, but not ready to move? And watching it, you can't help but cringe. She's there, smiling for the cameras, perfectly composed, like the whole thing exists for her Instagram, not the team she supposedly came to cheer on. While greeting children during a royal visit, Harry was genuinely trying to bond with the kids. And then Meghan stepped forward and tried to push him out of the group. Why? Who knows? Did she want to be the one talking to the kids herself? If that was the plan, why not just speak to the dozens of other children already there? Or maybe the truth is simpler and darker. Meghan cannot handle a camera frame that doesn't revolve around her. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't thoughtful. It was all about her presence, her image, her control, and everything else be damned. During a royal visit, Meghan and Harry try to step ahead into the crown jewels area without authorization. And no, this isn't a harmless mistake. This is one of the most tightly controlled spaces in the monarchy.
Is it not?
A royal aide has to stop them publicly, holding them back until the king and queen move forward first. Think of the selfishness it takes to assume everyone else can wait, but her. Now watch what happens next. Princess Catherine walks through the same area. No hesitation, no correction, no intervention. She follows the late queen's lead effortlessly because she understands the room she's in. And without saying a word, the contrast is brutal. Catherine looks composed. Meghan looks inconvenienced, like being stopped was the real offense. Meghan's favorite move in front of a camera is consistently physically pulling Harry forward so she can stand ahead of him in the frame. And no, this isn't coincidence. Neither chaos nor the rush of the moment. It's a habit we've seen again and again. The tugging, the nudging, the reshuffling, the quiet but calculated maneuvering, all so she ends up front and center. You can almost read Harry's face. Am I walking beside my wife? Or being positioned like a prop? Meanwhile, Meghan seems to be thinking something very different. No, not there. Here! The camera's here! Even at events meant to show unity, she turns it into a competition with her own husband. It reads like someone who cannot stand being second in the shot. Because for Meghan, if she's not the focus, she might as well not be there at all. At a joint engagement, Meghan didn't wait. She moved straight toward the car, positioning herself as if she were about to get in before the Queen. That's not a minor slip. That's basic royal protocol, and everyone there knew it, including the security guard who had to physically step in and stop her so the Queen could enter first. You'd think that would be the moment she'd pull back, reset, take the hint, but no! When the Queen paused to speak with a staff member, Meghan leaned in again, hovering, testing the moment, clearly hoping the opening was hers this time. It turned what should have been a smooth, routine exit into something stiff and uncomfortable. Eventually, the Queen let her go ahead, but not because that's how it's done, because it was easier to move on than correct her again. It wasn't confusion. It was the nerve to disregard the entire royal protocol right in front of the Queen. During Harry and Meghan's Nigerian visit, a local royal steps forward to present a gift. To Harry and Meghan just slides right in front of him and grabs it. Pure me-first instinct. The presenter calmly redirects the gift back to Harry, clearly trying not to make it awkward. But Meghan? She's stuck there with that frozen smile, still trying to claim a spotlight that wasn't hers. And you can feel it, everyone around her becoming uncomfortable, trying to process it. Like, how can someone be so desperate that they get everything wrong in front of everyone, every single time? This one is truly cringeworthy. During an interview, the reporter clearly aimed the question at Meghan's colleague, signaling, "Enough with the Meghan show, let's actually hear from someone else." But Meghan? She didn't back off. Instead, she slid herself right in between the interviewer and the person speaking, blocking the shot like some unwanted human banner.
A little bit more of the backstory with you and Harvey. So, there's a lot of people who ship Harvey and Donna. Where do you stand on their relationship? Is it more than just friends?
Well, that's so interesting you should ask. It was so funny because Gabriel and I last season when we got the script where we found out that Harvey and Donna had actually done it in the past, we were both like,
and my God, look at that expression. That slick little smile that says, I don't even need to speak. I can still pull the entire spotlight onto myself. She doesn't answer the question or adds anything of value, but she also refuses to step aside. It's like she's silently signaling, you can talk all you want, but you're not removing me from this moment. And that's what makes it so uncomfortable. Not the silence, but the entitlement behind it. At the 2023 Invictus Games, she marched in front of wounded heroes, front and center, like the cameras existed solely for her. You could almost feel the unspoken message. I'm the focus here. You're just decoration. And her face, that calm, composed smile, looked like she'd rehearsed it for Instagram. Like this moment was about how it would look on her feed. Front and center, perfectly framed, and all about her. Look, we get wanting to be noticed, but this crosses the line. She could have easily stepped back, let the veterans take the focus. Instead, she inserted herself where she had no business being. And I have to ask seriously, what exactly she's done to earn the right to march in front of these veterans, because watching that, all I saw was someone obsessed with being seen at any cost. At the 2018 British Fashion Awards, Meghan didn't just enter, she swooped in and took over presenting duties from Rosamund Pike. No heads up, no permission, just, here I am, ready to take over your moment.
Good evening, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here in my new home of the UK. The winner this evening is...
I mean, the audacity! Talking about herself with such a bright smile while announcing the winner. It felt like a side hustle. The event had been perfectly scripted. Every cue, every line, carefully organized. And Meghan? She bulldozed it. Organizers scrambled. Pike had to awkwardly step aside, and the audience could practically feel the room tilting under her self-importance. Watching her walk onto that stage, all confidence and zero regard for anyone else, you just can't help but think, this isn't charm, it's raw self-obsession. At the Royal Salute Polo Challenge, after Harry's team won, Meghan was caught on camera telling Dr. Sophie Chandala, the charity chairwoman, to move, to stand beside her instead of next to Harry during the trophy presentation, just so she could be at the center of the photo. Did you see how the chairwoman had to duck and twist just to honor her wish? Only because Meghan wanted the limelight that wasn't even meant for her? And of course, she smiled. Such a great day. As if the entire event existed for her? It wasn't about Harry's win or the charity. It was about her, as always making sure she was front and center, stealing every shot, every moment, and leaving everyone else to orbit around her self-importance. If you found this eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more moments that speak louder than words.